Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here. Gee, I look like a flathead. My head's flat. Anyway, it was only on video. Anyway, listen, guys. Here's what's going on with the debt ceiling bill. They got a major hurdle to overcome. Negotiators meet privately, consider a way forward, and prevent a self-inflicted economic calamity. Okay, so they're talking things through, but they're doing it very slowly, and it doesn't seem like there's any impasse just as of yet. But the pressure's going to start to come on them over the next 2 weeks. Extreme pressure to get something pushed through. And even though they're at a complete impasse right now, when that pressure starts to hit, it's like, we got to do something. We can't let an economic crisis happen. That's when they generally get something done. And so you have to have pressure to make these politicians do something. If they have extreme pressure before they're actually able to come to some sort of an agreement or anything like that. And here they are, all sitting on their cushy seats, not a care in the world, especially not a care about the people out there, what suffering they're gonna have to go through. As long as it's not me, sort of attitude, they're fine with it. And so, what does it say here? It says. It says, although Democrats have repeatedly said they would not negotiate on the debt ceiling, a growing fear that the United States could be hurtled toward disaster has prompted them to consider a parallel set of negotiations that could pair a debt limit hike with a budget deal. It says, one way or another, we have to get to the yes on the debt debate ceiling to avoid default. And I think there needs to be a sense of urgency. Yeah, well, there's only 2 weeks left. I guess there should be a sense of emergency. Here's the thing. I'm going to give this odds for you guys. In other years, I felt it was like about a 20% chance that they would go into default. And sure enough, they didn't. So I was giving it an 80% chance of success. This year's different. I'm telling you guys. I'm going to give it the odds now, 60-40. 60% chance of success in this thing this year. That they're going to come in the next 2 weeks, they're going to come to hammer out some sort of a deal. I'm giving that a 60% chance, which is a very high. It's more than 50-50. But I'm giving it a 40% chance that they bumble through this next 2 weeks and don't get anything done. I'm going to give that a 40% chance. So that's higher than I've given it in any other year during a debt crisis. Double what I give it in any other year during a debt crisis. Moving on. This is the thing. Releasing to the public the vaccine trial data. Okay? Here's the thing here. If we take a look, we can see that they had planned on releasing it, where to say here, over a 75-year long time. Okay. Okay, it says that the agency had sought for 75 years it was going to take to release this information. All of us would be dead before they release the information. And that works very effectively, because if there is anything, and I'm not saying there is, if there's anything that they're not disclosing, they can keep it to themselves for 75 years. And then, they know that they're going to be dead by that time. And so whatever, they're not going to worry about it, because, heck, if they can release it 75 years from now, we're going to be dead, so who cares? You know? But here's what has happened. A judge has come along, and he has said, okay, it ain't going to take 75 years. We're just going to give you 2 years from now to release all this information. What's in the information? I don't know. But I do know that they wanted 75 years and they're only going to get 2 unless they can do something about this. It says judge orders the FDA to speed up the release of COVID-19 vaccine trial data. Okay, and unless they can get around this somehow, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, here's a thing. They didn't put up this thing. They want look at this. You keep reading for $1. So I gotta send them $1, or I'm not gonna be able to read this about the G7 leaders gathering in Hiroshima. I had it on here for you guys, but this pop-up's come on here. It says keep reading for $1. Well, sorry, but I ain't gonna fill out all that kind of stuff and everything. And all you guys really need to know is that the G7 leaders are having some sort of a cushy meeting. All these meetings, they always have to fly into exotic places and stuff, and have the best hotels, 5-star hotels, and all of these meals and everything else, and it costs us taxpayers an absolute fortune every time they meet someplace. And what do they discuss behind these meetings? Well, they don't let us know. We're not privileged to the information that they're going to sit down and discuss. But we got to pay for it. We got to pay for the filet mignon and the 5-star hotel and the flight. And it's not a regular flight either. They're in the super class, the class where the stewardess is giving them everything all the time. We're in the back of the plane. Stewardess walks by us and they throw a bag of pretzels at us. We have to catch it. And that's all we get. But they're up there in the plane, and they're up in the front of the plane up there in those big long seats that stretch out and sleeping coaches and all that kind of stuff when they're on their way. And you can't even talk to them. They exclude them from the regular people on the back of the plane. We're not allowed to even... We're behind the curtain on one side of the curtain, and they're on the other side of the curtain. We're not allowed to even go there, Or the stewardess will come along. You can't be here. You got to go back there. Isn't that so-and-so? Anyway, but I mean, this is the way we've set it up for ourselves, that our world leaders are like on a pedestal, and we're not, because we're common folk. It's always been that way, all the way through history. It's how they keep us down in our place as slaves to the system. $24.02 for silver today. It's up 8 cents on the day so far. But it's in a very narrow trading range right here. And they're putting it, really, this stuff's on sale really good, And the sale's going to end when they start the big printing the money again. I saw one thing there, and somebody was talking about... Anyway, it might be on this page right here or whatever. Okay, yeah, this is it right here. It says Roy, a member of the far-right Freedom Caucus, mocked complaints from activists that steep domestic cuts should harm programs that many Americans rely on, such as affordable housing. And he said, why don't we double it? Talking about the debt. Or quadruple it. Why don't we spend $2 trillion or $3 trillion or $5 trillion, he said sarcastically. What the hell's the difference does it make? Just print the money. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what. We've been suffering through this thing for years, with inflation slowly getting worse and worse. It's like having an infection, having a big bandage on it, and you just keep rip the band-aid off of this thing. And I know he's being sarcastic about just print the money, but they're continuing the suffering for the average Joe out there by this withering away inflation and them withering away the economy by trying to fight inflation and everything. It's not the way to go. The way to go is what we really need is to get rid of this debt-based system. Rip the bandage off. And if that means printing a whole bunch of money, improving the economy, while you do it, getting the economy up to a certain speed, an escape velocity. So print 20 trillion, yeah. Print 20 trillion. Put it into the general economy. Send everybody checks. Yeah, it's going to kill the dollar. But at the same time, it's going to zoom the economy. That'll zoom the economy. Create a lot of new jobs and everything. And when you get the economy up to that warp speed, that escape velocity, pull the trigger on the whole thing and put in a new economic system that's not debt-based, that's based on real money, gold and silver. You need to get the economy up to a point where everybody's working. Everybody's making money. Everybody's putting money in, saving money and everything else, and really starting to boom. The economy's booming. And that's the point when you can... The way they're doing it is all wrong by trying to slow down the economy in order to fight inflation. We're in a debt-based system, and a debt-based thing, you can't get out of it that easy. And the only way to get out of it is to have a strong economy. Then you can stand a chance of actually getting out of it without having a total train wreck. That's my opinion anyway. Not that it accounts for a whole lot, because they don't. They always do what they want to do, and everything that they do is wrong. They never get anything right. Cryptocurrency today. You know, we're looking at 1,141,000,000,000. Bitcoin price of 27,395 and 1823 for Ethereum. Now for the Dow Jones today, we're basically even with the board. We're down 3 points, but that's nothing. 33,297. Taking a look at the crude oil today, it's up $1.23 at 71.27. Bonds and rates today. We're looking at climbing yields on the long end. 10-year is up to 3.49. It's up 3.5 basis points. And the 30-year is 3.83. It's up 5.3 basis points on the day so far. And now looking at the dollar index. 102.47. So the dollar's riding high and riding strong right now. It's not surprising, because it's all about this fighting inflation sort of a thing, and budget cuts, and not passing the debt ceiling unless they get some sort of physical restraint and all this kind of... You can't balance this system. You cannot balance a debt-based system. We got to get back to hard money, and then you can balance the budget. You can't do anything with this system. It's kind of like a guy that converts his car over to propane or something, to run on propane, and everything starts to go wrong. The only way you're going to be able to make it run right is convert it back to gasoline again. And that's the way. We were on a gold-based system, and they've changed over to this stupid debt-based system, and you cannot make this run properly. You got to tear the carburetor off and put a whole new fuel system in. And that's the money. You got to tear it all out and go back to a gold-based hard money system. And then it'll run right. And so why not just go ahead while we're in the dying embers of the system? Why not just go ahead and print willy-nilly and speed the economy up to that escape velocity using the money before money's dead anyway? I mean, they're just going to... What they're doing is they're withering away with this thing over a long period of time and trying to do all this crap that they're doing. It ain't working. Anyway, guys, listen, thank you for listening to my show this morning. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.